What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bullish Chips, where we use a proven and repeatable strategy to make money every day. This channel focuses on the Bullish Semiconductor ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol SOXL, but the charting and the trading method we use can be implemented with any company that's publicly traded in the U.S. stock market. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you're notified of any of our bonus content, aside from the weekly and one weekend video content that we do produce. Our nightly and weekend videos focus on identifying the triggers and targets for trades ranging from scalps and intraday trades to long-term swings and leaps. So if you want a deeper dive into how we set up our charts and trading levels, then check out the bonus content on our YouTube page. And for more information about the strat, which is the base of our trading and charting method, you can find more free information in the description of this video. Let's take a look at today's video agenda. We'll go ahead and recap today's price action. We'll zoom out a little bit to look at the week, month, quarter, and year for SOXL. Then we will zoom back in to set the 4-hour markers and the triggers and targets for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, along with the quick review of the week, month, quarter, and year triggers and targets. So let's getting into the charts here. The intraday price action, we can see down towards the bottom of the chart, we've got the overnight low here at 37.80 and the previous low of day at 37.62. We've got the previous high of day here at 40.06, and we've got the overnight high up here at 42.79. Those are our major 4-hour markers. Now there are some honorable mentions here on the page. We've got the market maker's expected move high up here at 42.22. And then, of course, once price opens, we have the opening print, which is marked here with this price level at 42.83. So we got the opening price action and push to the downside, bouncing off of the market maker's expected move high for a push back up. Didn't make it too down, a higher low on the 5-minute. It just pushed down within the candle. By the time it was closed, it pushed back up for the next candle, and just continued this continued high. Right? We didn't set any lower highs here, but that did eventually fail at this 300 fib extension of the October 2nd gap up. That was last Thursday. And so price did fall back below opening print, which aligned with overnight high basically. And we did get a lower high. So you could have taken that from a scalp perspective, taken a put, grabbed a put once price got below this candle. And then, we did get the bounce once again off of this market maker's expected move high. Now, you wouldn't have got anything out of that trade, and you actually would have lost a little bit of money if you waited for the higher high. You could have stopped out once you saw a higher low was set, and that would have netted you a little bit of profit, depending on how quickly you were able to enter here, how many contracts you were able to get, at the money, in the money, what your strike price was, right? That's all gonna change or give you the different types of profits, right? So you could have been in there for a scalp and got a little bit of money, but you could have also taken this second bounce, and although we're underneath opening print, you could have seen we've already got a lot of momentum to the upside. Chips have been moving the tech sector as it is for the last week or so, and you could have taken a little higher risk entry and grabbed a call here. Now again, that wouldn't have net you very much because we did get the rejection off of this daily broadening formation. That's basically what we got here, right? If you look at it from like the 15 or 1 hour perspective, that's just a wick that goes up through this daily broadening formation. Then we got the solid solid rejection off of it. So you could have taken that higher the higher low right here and taken that up until you got the lower high and exited here. So again, not a whole lot of profit, but there's still some there to be had. But most of the day, or at least the beginning of the day, was just basically navigating this opening print, right? We got to push up, we got to push down, then we got back to it, and we just kind of went above and below it just barely for the majority of the day really. And then into the afternoon we got this lower high, and then went back below opening print, got another lower high here, and then that's when it really fell out, right? So that's where the money was made today. Again, you could have made money with scalps here and there, excuse me, but the easier money today, we'll say, right, because it's not always easy, but the easier money today was this put here back to basically the 23.8 fib of the October 2nd gap up. So that is where the gap from today is established, right? So we have where we closed on Friday, and then this is where we closed today. So we've got a pretty big gap below. So it's not crazy to think that we might get a little bit more pullback tomorrow. Maybe close the gap. Even if it's just a little bit of pullback to this 200 fib extension, then we bounce off of it again and try and break back above. Excuse me. We it wouldn't be crazy to get some downside action tomorrow. That's how things look intraday. Let's look at it from the day perspective. Let's go ahead and get a better chart out here, right? And we can see the big gap up. All right, let's bring this in a little bit. So we have this 11-week range that we had starting in July. Then we have the breakout here from the top of the range, intraday retest, the gap up, the test of that gap, or basically fill of that gap. There's a little sliver left, and then we've exploded from there again, leaving a couple more gaps. So things are very bullish. We've got through this second weekly broadening formation and hit this daily broadening formation. Now the candle structure isn't the greatest, right? It is a 2 up, so we did have a higher close than Friday's close and a higher high than Friday's high. So from a bullish perspective, that is kind of bullish from that perspective. But you can see the structure of the candle. It's a red, solid red candle with a wick on top. So that just means that price tried to push up and rejected, and we pushed not only through the opening print but closed below the opening print. With a decent sized candle. It's not huge, but it's decent size. So again, another reason that we could expect a little bit of downside action tomorrow. Maybe try and close half of this gap at the very least, if not the full thing. That does set up the possible 3, 2 up, 2 down. We'll get into that with our triggers and targets here. So again, more reason to be kind of 50-50 here, right? Because we've got a lot of bullish momentum. It seems that every day or every night or every morning, another chip company is making some announcement of some partnership with some other company. So, we have that momentum going to the upside, but you do have to pull back at certain points, right? You can't just go straight up forever. So this could be as good a time as any to go back to the downside. So we'll have our triggers and targets ready, but at the same time, we recognize that momentum and we'll have our triggers and targets ready to the upside as well. So that's how things look from the day. From the week perspective, we can see we've gone 2 up on the week. Let's just bring this in. Let's get a more cleaned up chart here. Actually, we'll bring in the weekly broadenings. So again, we've cleared this, this weekly broadening formation. This one's really off of the table at this point. We can really take it off of there. All right, so we've cleared this weekly broadening formation, but again, candle structure shows we could be getting pulled back within it, right? So until we get the higher low above the weekly broadening formation, we won't say we've totally cleared it yet, but we've made great strides, obviously from the April 7th low, but then even from late September or early September, we've had a real big push. We've got these higher highs on the week perspective, right? Got all of these knocked out. So we've just got one more before we really get to trying to reach that 2024 high, that 70.08. So again, things are looking good from the week perspective. We've got the good 2 up. Now it is red, and we've got the whole week to go. So this could pull back into last week's price action. Who knows? We could get a bearish engulfing candle. We'll just continue to play it how it comes and let those 4-hour triggers and targets roll into the day triggers and targets, which will then eventually roll into the week triggers and targets. So for right now, things are bullish, but we're just keeping in mind that we're at a perfect place that we could pull back. From the month perspective, same thing, right? The objective has been accomplished, right? The 3 combo 2 down, combo 2 up, that magnitude was reached. We've got this combo 2 down, combo 2 up. That magnitude was reached as well. But we're now in this one combo 2 down, combo 2 up, targeting that 70.08. Again, can't say it's going to happen in a month. It kind of plays into, the one combo 2 down, combo 2 up that we've got on the quarter as well, right? But for now, as long as we're above the 36.15, that's obviously bullish. But we were able to conquer this 41.14 pretty quickly as well. So staying above that keeps us even more bullish, and we're getting closer to that 50 mark, right? Closing this gap, we get to 50. That puts us back above last year's 50% line, and that really turns the look of this year around from the big push down that we had at the beginning of the year to this recovery has been pretty crazy, right? So still bullish from the month perspective. Oops, go to the quarter. Let's get those broadenings off of there. And right, we're still in good position. We're in the one combo 2 down, combo 2 up. So as long as we're above this 36.15, again, the magnitude is not the high of the one, but it's the high of the candle to the left of the one, which is at 70.08. So again, just continue to chug up. Didn't see that that weakness that we normally see in September, October this year. So just continuing to push forward. From the year perspective, got a nice solid green hammer. We're able to turn around the 1, 2 up, 2 down, and make a higher low from the year perspective. If we do finish how we finish this year and go 2 up next year, that locks this in. That 723 that we made on April 7th, that locks that in as a higher low, right? This is the 621, and 723 obviously is higher. So that from a year perspective technically keeps us in a bullish uptrend, right? So things are looking really good on all time frames, especially the larger time frames, and we'll just continue to play things how they go. We'll get into our triggers and targets here so that we're ready to the upside and downside. And let's go to our notes and go up here, right? So we've got for Tuesday, October 7th, there will be 58 trading days left in the year. Previous close will be 41.71. That's today's close price. And we now know what the flip is for the week, right? To go green, the week needs to clear 42.83. But we know we're already green on the month, the quarter, and the year. We know what levels those have to reach in order to flip back to red. So want to stay above these levels, keep everything in full time frame continuity to the upside. The market maker's expected move is that plus or minus $3.99, giving us a range of 42.22 to 34.24. If you're not familiar with the market maker's expected move, check out either the Thursday night videos or the Saturday videos where we dive deeper into where we get that number and putting it on the chart and whatnot. We know where our gaps above and gaps below are. Again, we've got that new gap from today, so make sure you've got that in your notes. And if we look at things from the 4-hour perspective, let's just pull up the 4-hour just so it's visual here. We can see we had the 2 up, 2 down. So if we go to the downside, that triggers the 2 up combo 2 down. Again, the ultimate magnitude for that move is the low of this 2, which is 37.62. We've got a long ways to go, and we've got, like we said, we're in that bullish uptrend. So how far do we pull back? Do we reach this 2 down? We don't know, but we've got a gap here that could act as a magnet to at least close that. We do have this fib extension from the April 25 low to July 25 high, and then the little pullback that it had in July. This is basically the fib extensions of that bullish bull flag, right? So we could see support at that 78.6 fib extension level, 39.26. So we do have fill levels of support. If we bring in our monthly and quarterly markings, we have last week's high at 40.06, right? So that can be support as well at the bottom of this gap. That 39.32 is the fib extension of this move from last Thursday to today, or I'm sorry, last Thursday to 2 Thursdays ago to last Wednesday. These are the fib extensions of that move. And we've got that 41.2 and 39.32 there as well. To the upside, we would have a 2 down, 2 up. The magnitude would just be the high of this 2, but again, we want to continue with that bullish momentum. We've got these fib extensions at the 44.24 level, and then weekly broadening formation, and then the 78.6 fib extension level as well. So this could be an area where we push up to and see some either sideways price action or just straight up rejection. So if we look at it from just the numbers perspective, to the downside, it would be a 2 up, combo 2 down, triggering at 41.66 with a target of 41.30, 40.72, 40.06, 39.48, 39.14 before reaching an ultimate magnitude of 37.62. Again, we don't usually put this many targets in, but for that big of a move in the face of an uptrend, those are easily the levels that price could bounce from, right, and making higher lows. So if we do go to the upside, we just shake off the downside action we had today in the second half of the day, and we go to the upside. That triggers the 2 down, 2 up at 43.02 with a magnitude of 43.37. All right, so you can exit your whole position or a majority of your position or a part of position at that point, and then we have further targets of 44.24 and 45.13. All right. Looking at it from the day perspective, oops, that's not what we want. We want the day. And we want to do, there we go. So looking at it from the day perspective, we would have a 3, 2 up, 2 down. Again, one of my favorite combos. It gives you very clear entry at the low of the 2 up and the very clear exit at the low of the 3. So that would trigger at 43.37, and the ultimate target would be 37.62. But again, we would have those intermediate possible bounce points, possible points for reversal that would be targets on the way to this ultimate magnitude, right? We want to just continue to read price action through the day if you're an intraday trader, and watch how things go, see if there would be a bounce at what, those levels that we've listed. If not, then we just continue to go down with the stock price, right? So not a big deal, right? If we go to the upside, well, then we have a 2 up, 2 up. That triggers at the high of today, which is 43.37. And again, we had those levels up here around this weekly broadening formation as our targets on the 4-hour level. Those would be the same targets on the 1-day level. And then even going up to this 46.79, which is 50% of last year's move, right? So that's a big point of inflection, right? So going back to the notes, we've got a 3, 2 up, 2 down. If we go to the downside, triggering at 41.62. Again, we've got these targets in between, not as many on the day perspective, right? If we're playing this for the full day than we would for a 4-hour play or a scalp play. So not quite as many intermediate targets, but then the same ultimate target of that 37.62. To the upside, we would have that 2 up, 2 up, triggering at 43.37. Targeting 43.80, 44.24, and 45.13. All right. So, oops, we forgot to take out these higher highs here. We took those out last week. All right. From the week perspective, we already looked at the chart, so I'll avoid dragging this video out too long. We have already triggered the 2 up, 2 up at 35.49. We do want to reach 36.15, 39. Wait a second. Did I? 40.06. Why? I don't know why my notes are not right there. Why did my okay? I don't know, something happened with my notes, because I know I did these in preparation, but it did trigger at 40.06, and I feel like. Okay. Yeah, and we've got our 41.19, which we already took out. Our 43.80 and 46.79 are our extended targets for the week, right? Since we do know that we went 2 up on the week, this will be a red 3 if it goes below 33.57. So red 3 is the same thing as a bearish engulfing candle, but we need to get all the way down to 33.57 for that to happen. So again, because I didn't have my notes updated here, I apologize. We are in a 2 up, 2 up continuation pattern, and we triggered at 40.06. We hit we have a first target of 41.19, 43.80, and 46.79. All right. That still doesn't look right to me. Why am I not? 41.66. Yeah. Okay. That was Friday. So that was up on the week. So yeah, those are all right. I apologize for any confusion today. Those are all the correct triggers and targets for the week. Again, we've already triggered at 40.06. looking for that 43.80 and 46.79 now. October, we talked about this multiple times. We've already looked at the chart multiple times. We went two up, triggering at 40.06. 41.19 as the target, 43.80 as the extended target, and 46.79. I brought on these, excuse me, these other two extended targets as well, 48.79 and 50. We, figure since we've moved so much this week, we go ahead and add those extended targets on. And then we've got, of course, from the quarter perspective, we talked about how we reached the magnitude for the 2 down, combo 2 up, and triggered the 1 combo 2 down, 2 up at 35.49. Already reached the magnitude, so we're just looking for these higher targets here, 42.04, 44.54, and then we brought these extended targets on here as well because, again, we're moving with some great pace. So again, the ultimate magnitude for that move is 70.08. I'm not sure that we're going to get that this quarter. We have been moving pretty crazy, but I don't think when we get it, reach that level this quarter. But that's the ultimate target as long as we're above that 36.15. Otherwise, from the year perspective, again, we triggered the 1, 2 up, 2 down, but we reversed it, and we're looking at the green hammer on the year. We're back green on the year, and looking bullish from a longer term perspective, right? So. Those are the triggers and targets for today, or for tomorrow, and for tomorrow and beyond. I hope everybody enjoyed today's video. I tried to keep it short, but pack in as much information as I could once again. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure you get some good rest tonight. Wake up refreshed tomorrow, and I look forward to trading with you.